Riot Games is a company that strives not in innovation, but in refinement. What they do best is taking an already very popular game genre, like Dota or Hearthstone or Counter-Strike and Overwatch, and polishing it to an absurd level of quality. And guess what? They get it done again! 2xKO is Riot's latest abominable creation, and much like their other most successful titles, they managed to strike such a balance of addictive game design and cancer-inducing decisions that every single time I play this game, I hate it with every erythrocyte in my body, and yet I keep coming back for more. This game does such a horrible, no good, evil, bad, great job at making every character feel simultaneously beau merde and dog merde, pardon my French. Except for Yasuo, look, there's no two ways of putting it. These are the kinds of people who have more monster energy than H2O in their body at any given time. Oh, good job, man. Love that for you. Love that for you. So glad you're getting to have this single-player experience right now. Wow, I love the Inspector mode, actually. It's why I downloaded the game and willingly installed a virus into my personal computer. Man, I'm so happy about what's going on. They buffed him! Are you a certified fighting game enjoyer? Do you like destroying little kids? Well then, 2xKO has everything that you could want in this life for the low price of your sanity. We've got the Zoner, the Grappler, what the fuck is a neutral? The tutorial mode. The heart is the strongest muscle. The and who could forget? Wait, why did we add this? I thought we wanted people to play our game. Let me tell you a little something about system mechanics, right? That's how the punching game nerds refer to gameplay aspects that make the game play differently from other punching games. 2xKO is particularly rich when it comes to its system mechanics. You got rolls and get-up attacks. You got air techs, retreating guard, parry, break, push block, high-low mix-up, and left-right mix-up, some of which are built into some moves. I'm looking at you, stinky boy. Learning and getting comfortable with making efficient use of all of these mechanics in a match is already a big ask, let alone mastering them. So you can imagine that this game's skill ceiling is comparable to that of a courtyard. But don't be fooled, because this game, I believe, is quite possibly the best punchy game for people who are not familiar with punchy games, because the skill floor of 2xKO is equally comparable to the Mariana Trench. That's because 2xKO does something relatively unique in fighting games. No motion inputs at all. It's not like an option that you can turn off. No, there's just no motion inputs in the game. Every single move that every single character can perform is at most a combination of a single attack plus a single direction. That's a total of 2 buttons for the people watching at home, and the second one's optional. You don't even need it. You can just press a button and then boom, he's fucking dead. This, I find, is the greatest showcase of what this game hopes to achieve in the gaming landscape and within the Riot ecosystem. Now, the way they work, Riot Games likes to keep their main games operating as live services. They don't do sequels, although League of Legends could really use one just so they have an excuse to not include Shaco in it, but it's not gonna happen. Okay, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. Yet, sequels are the industry standard for all of the biggest fighting game franchises. Yeah, they keep the game alive with continuous content for some years after the initial release. I mean, fighter packs are expected at this point for every major title. However, Riot wants 2xKO to be a lasting game. They don't want 2xKO 2. That would make it 3xKO? Whoa. They don't want another game. They want to regularly update and add characters to 2xKO for as long as time itself, it seems, if League of Legends is anything to go by. Given that this is the business philosophy behind 2xKO, we can easily see where the game design philosophy of no motion inputs fits into the wider concept of this game. One of, if not the biggest hurdles for new players to overcome when they're first introduced to the fighting game genre is being able to regularly perform the motion inputs for the different moves. This is basically like the equivalent of learning to aim in a shooter. So the fact that 2xKO doesn't have this would be comparable to making a shooter game where everyone would have aimbot. Now this might seem like an insane comparison to make, I'm aware, but think about it for a second. The lack of depth in the mechanical aspect of this game makes the gameplay much more centered around the strategic aspects of fighting. And keep in mind, 2xKO isn't a mechanically easy game either, but compared to other fighting games, I think it is, right? The fighting game genre is just a mechanically demanding genre. And so, much like a shooter where everyone has aimbots would reward good positioning and tactical play and team communication much more than the player's amount of hours on Kovacs, similarly, a fighting game with no motion inputs will reward good defensive plays and predictive reads much more than actually having your favorite opponent be the practice dummy. This crucial decision, coupled with the no drawbacks inclusion of pulse controls, makes it very obvious what 2xKO wants to be. It wants to be the fighting game to attract all of those who've never played a fighting game before. And inevitably then become their favorite since it will be their first, and you know what they say about that. And since 2xKO is going to be a live service game being constantly updated, and remember it's made by the League of Legends guys, these lads know how to keep a game from dying. The people who got introduced to the genre through 2xKO will never have a reason to leave 2xKO, especially considering the equally high skill ceiling which will keep them engaged with constant improvement for years, and then they're gonna stick around for every new character being added, inevitably making them wonder the lore behind them, leading to the League of Legends universe, and they're gonna download the evil game. I mean, what's the worst that can happen, right? It can't be that bad. Hey, but this game's fun, right? So look, you can play with your friends in the same team. When was the last time you saw that in a fighting game, huh? You don't have to keep doing 1v1s in Guilty Gear anymore. We know you weren't having fun playing against the same guy who's better than you over and over again. Now you and that guy who's better than you can team up against different people who are better than both of you. Yippee! It's obvious in how they advertise this game that they want you to team up with a friend, because it does make the game objectively more fun, like I can attest to this. But it's also insane how much playing solo is objectively stronger than playing duo. The assist and tag timings in this game matter so much to your main fighter, called point for future reference, on the screen at any moment for both defense and offense. And unless you and your partner are both Professor X, you are not going to be as coordinated with one another as the other guy is with himself. There is actually a very simple solution to this problem, and you don't need to change absolutely anything about the gameplay, because honestly I think the gameplay is fun in both cases. Just make it so the two cases don't get matched up against each other. Like if I'm queuing up as a duo, match me up against another duo. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Now the game is still new and blossoming, so I'm willing to look past this oversight, but I give you 2 battle passes worth of time to fix this Rito Juegos. Dude, stop putting him in safety. The divide between solo and duo experiences becomes even more jarring when you consider all of the nasty stuff you can do in this game, dude. Like, I'm not gonna give you a rundown on all the nuances of this game's sysanics. That's cool gamer slang for system mechanics. By the way, only nerds call it system mechanics, as we established. We call it sysanics here. Saves precious time that we'd spend hustling. I'm just gonna educate y'all on one thing, and you can imagine the consequences of it. Now, when both the assist and the point are on screen at the same time, and doing an attack simultaneously, which way do you block? They obviously did not make it unblockable. That would be stupid, and they're not stupid. There's actually a very consistent rule to follow. Block the point. Even if the assist is behind you, the attack is always counted as coming from the direction where the point is. Sounds straightforward, right? Just keep your eyes on the point. Oh, this game is malevolent. Listen, I'ma keep it a stack. I think this game has a lot of potential. I think they got a good foundation right here, and a decent basis for a long-lasting fighting game. But they do need to play their cards right, and nip some bad apples in the bud before they get animated on a TI-84 Silver Edition or a bowl of pasta or whatever they're up to nowadays. Personally, I vote that we slash the length of combos to at least half of what they are right now. Don't get me wrong, this is not in terms of balancing. I think the damage scaling is perfectly fine where it is right now, actually. Where a good 7-hit Mumbo can get the job done almost as effectively as a sweaty 45-hit Jumbo. Do not get me started on whatever this is. I want Shoto combos more as quality of life than anything else, really. Because it's just straight up, simply no cap, no bars held, no holds barred, just not a fun time. Being unable to input any commands for such a long period of time. The frustration doesn't come from looking at the health bar and going, what the fuck is that damage, my guy? No, the frustration comes from the fact that I've been forcibly put in spectator mode, and there's a distinct lack of agency for way too long where I have to twiddle my thumbs and jork it while I watch the other guy jork all over me. As long as there's even a short opening within the combo, that allows for the defender to choose how to tech and maybe free themselves without having to rely on break, which is on a long cooldown and also can be baited and punished, which leads to an even worse combo. Look, I'm not getting into the break Sasanic here, okay? Just having that option is infinitely more fun, since the guy being comboed still needs to be engaged in the game and paying attention at all times, also known as playing the game that they are here to do. It also makes offense more interesting as well, because as long as you know your combo has an opening in that spot, you can try to read the opponent's tech and catch them back into the combo. It makes the game more interesting for both parties. And the only people complaining about this would honestly be those whose favorite opponent is in fact the trading dummy. Also, there is a reason why I didn't mention Hwei. She's basically a walking dollar store with how many cheap moves she has. Like, are you kidding me with this? Get out of here!